Satyavani channel, you will receive knowledge above Rajaswala. Despite us providing a lot of knowledge about Rajaswala, our mother and sisters are not following these rules, which leads to unrest, suffering, and distress in the home. I am fulfilling my duty, and as long as I am alive, I will continue to fulfill this duty. I aim to bring to you the traditions, laws, and practices related to Hindu Sanatan Dharma, which are our heritage. These rules, laws, and traditions have been derived not only from scriptures, but have also been created practically by our ancestors. Behind these virtues is a great secret that modern educated women, on one hand, are reading about, but on the other hand, are not adhering to. The reason for their distress is that they have accumulated so many sinful actions. Many people call me nowadays, saying they are married, and even after 10 years of love, their spouses have stopped talking to them. It means, in one sentence, they have expressed that they have committed so many sinful actions that they have betrayed their children, wives, husbands, families, deities, and chosen deities. And now they are asking for relief from their suffering, which is not possible. Everyone has to bear the consequences of their actions. Those who are experiencing suffering in today's world, even though they have everything in life, are not happy because they have never followed these rules, laws, traditions, and practices that have been created through tradition. So they will have to bear the consequences. Some elders were wise enough to create traditions throughout the year, and one should follow them. Nowadays, even in traditions, there is modernity, which is wrong. In the Rajaswala condition, one should not perform physical worship, but one should perform mental worship. If Rajaswala condition was not present, then one could sit in a religious ceremony or take a resolution. After that, if Rajaswala condition occurs, then one should perform Nandi Shraddha Karma. Otherwise, only mental worship should be performed. Even in the Rajaswala condition, i.e. when a woman is in an impure state, she has mental menstruation. Even during that time, she should not touch the deity at all. And it has been said that after the onset of menstruation, complete purity, i.e. for 7 days, one should absolutely avoid any touch. A woman should not come into contact with anyone or touch anything during this time. The emphasis has been placed on staying in a pure environment, which is highly beneficial for health. During the process of bodily changes, mental states also become restless. When talking about worship, the mental state should not be disturbed in the practice of worship. Your mind should be in complete peace. Therefore, it is believed that a woman who is currently in the menstruating age should be guided by the guru regarding how to perform spiritual practices. Now, let's discuss what to do if the bride or bride's mother has menstruation during the wedding. The invitation for the wedding has been sent, guests have arrived, and at the time of the wedding, if the bride or bride's mother experiences menstruation, the tradition is to consider the auspicious moment by keeping in mind the menstrual cycle of the bride or groom's mother. Nowadays, there are pills available in the market to delay menstruation during this time. These pills are not suitable from a health perspective, yet people use them out of temptation. However, even after making all these efforts, if the bride herself or the bride's mother or the groom's mother experiences menstruation, then the scriptures recommend performing Kushmanda Homa. Kushmanda Homa should be performed at the moment when the menstruation begins. At that moment, the woman should take a bath, and the bride should perform Kushmanda Homa with her father, and the groom's mother should perform it with her father. The procedure of Kushmanda Homa should be known to the Brahmin priest. Many times, the priest does not remember it, and when the priest arrives, he says, "I don't know how to perform Kushmanda Homa." Here, it is essential to clarify that Kushmanda Homa is not related to a pumpkin. There is no connection with a pumpkin. The reason for performing Kushmanda Homa is not because the menstrual impurity does not affect on that day. Even if the signs of menstruation appear, performing this Homa will be beneficial. However, how to perform Kushmanda Homa should be known to the Brahmin priest. If the priest is invited for a wedding, he should be asked about the procedure of Kushmanda Homa. If he says he doesn't know, it becomes a wrong practice. If there is a Rajaswala dosha during an auspicious event, what should be done? In such a situation, according to the Madhava Granth, it is written that if the mother becomes menstruating before the wedding, according to the command of 1,000 scriptures, her withdrawal should be done. If menstruation occurs in any other auspicious event, then Nandi Mukh Shrad should be performed. It can be found in books that before starting any auspicious work, the choice is made for Nandi Mukh Shrad. Sometimes, after making all efforts, if menstruation occurs in the bride or the bride's mother or the groom's mother, then the scriptures say that Kushmanda Homa should be performed. If the Rajaswala dosha is present at that moment, performing this Homa will still be beneficial. However, the Brahmin priest should know the entire procedure. Otherwise, the whole process becomes incorrect. If there is any Rajaswala dosha during an auspicious work, what should be done? In that case, according to the Madhava Granth, it is mentioned that if the mother becomes menstruating before the wedding, her withdrawal should be done according to the command of 1,000 scriptures. If menstruation occurs during any other auspicious event, then Nandi Mukh Shrad should be performed. It is mentioned in the books that for any auspicious work, the selection is made for Nandi Mukh Shrad. Sometimes, even after making all efforts, if menstruation occurs in the bride or the bride's mother or the groom's mother, the scriptures say that Kushmanda Homa should be performed. If the Rajaswala dosha is present at that moment, performing this Homa will still be beneficial. However, the Brahmin priest should know the entire procedure, otherwise the whole process becomes incorrect. If there is any Rajaswala dosha during an auspicious work, what should be done? In that case, according to the Madhava Granth, it is mentioned that if the mother becomes menstruating before the wedding, her withdrawal should be done according to the command of 1,000 scriptures. If menstruation occurs during any other auspicious event, then Nandi Mukh Shrad should be performed. It is mentioned in the books that for any auspicious work, the selection is made for Nandi Mukh Shrad. Sometimes, even after making all efforts, if menstruation occurs in the bride or the bride's mother or the groom's mother, the scriptures say that Kushmanda Homa should be performed. It is considered inauspicious for her, meaning if the mother of either the bride or groom experiences menstruation, then auspicious activities should not be performed until she attains purity. Whether it is during the wedding, fasting ceremonies, or rituals like Chudakarma, if the mother of the individual performing the ceremony is menstruating, no auspicious activities should be conducted. A person who always speaks about auspiciousness in marriage and other sacred ceremonies should refrain from such activities. If the mother is menstruating, it is essential to accept this fact and avoid conducting any ceremonies at that time. If, during the Nandi Shrad Karma, or after performing Nandi Shrad Karma, the menstruation persists, meaning if a woman is in a menstruating state during the auspicious event, then, for the purification of the Suti, the woman in a menstruating state, and the Rajaswala, menstruating woman, Homa, ritualistic fire ceremony, should be performed first. After that, one should donate a cow, because by giving a cow, the impurity of the Rajaswala is nullified. There are also guidelines for how to perform the worship after donating a cow. It involves creating an idol of goddess Lakshmi with a masha, a small measurement, of kheer, sweet rice pudding, and offering it in the fire during a havan, fire ritual. Separate pujas are performed for Kushmanda and Rikas, a type of hymn, for the purification of the Rajaswala. After offering the cow, the person can proceed with auspicious events like marriage. Nowadays, it is observed that even with menstruation, women go ahead with the wedding rituals, such as taking the wedding vows. Fairer. This means that the woman participates in the wedding ceremony while being impure herself. This is a severe sin. We have witnessed practically and have been informed that due to not following the rules of menstruation, mental conditions deteriorate, leading to tragic consequences. The act of marrying while being in a menstruating state, participating in rituals and prayers, or even worshipping deities during this time, is considered a serious sin. We have seen young men and women commit suicide while menstruating. Many men and women end their lives due to mental distress caused by not adhering to the rules of menstruation. If, even after performing Nandi Shrad Karma, menstruation occurs, meaning if the woman is still menstruating, then, for the purification of the Rajaswala, the Kushmanda Homa should be performed. After that, a cow should be donated. By giving a cow, the Rajaswala, who has done a deed during her menstruation, can be purified. It is also stated that if, during a menstruating state, a woman performs any worship activity, she should create an idol of goddess Lakshmi using a masha of kheer and offer it in a havan. Following these rules is essential for leading a happy life. If not followed, adverse results can occur, as seen practically. This is such a vast topic that no matter how much is said, it is still insufficient. This is because it forms the foundation of life. Both the happiness of a woman and the well-being of the family depend on it. A woman should refrain from any activity during menstruation and follow the prescribed rules strictly. Only then can she lead a contented life. Otherwise, it will be challenging. One should not go to the place where the continuous recitation of the Ramayana is happening according to the Vedas. One should not climb the steps of a temple, and it is said that even lighting a lamp in the house, offering charity, or touching the feet of elders should be avoided. If a saintly person, ascetic or yogi, comes to the house, one should not enter the kitchen or the main part of the house. Also during Diwali, if a woman is in her menstruating state, she should not light lamps. Similarly, holy puja should not be performed. In our Hindu Sanatan Dharma, it is also mentioned that a woman should not sweep the threshold of her own house. These restrictions have been imposed, and we see a significant number of cases related to women in the 80% of incidents concerning upper-level obstruction, black magic, and supernatural powers. The majority of these cases involve women because they did not adhere strictly to the rules of menstruation and the norms related to menstruation, which led to the accumulation of invisible powers. This situation occurs when a woman, in her impure state during menstruation, walks on intersections, public squares, or attends auspicious events like weddings and religious ceremonies where rituals and havans take place. The deities of the place, the deities of the household, and the installed deities of that place attack the woman in various ways. Faults are placed upon her, and as a consequence, spirits or entities are attached to her. She then performs tasks that lead to illness, conflicts, and disturbances. She remains unaware of why disturbances occurred, why she fell ill repeatedly, or why her mind stopped functioning correctly. The only reason behind all this is that the woman did not strictly follow these rules, and once these powers get attached, removing them becomes challenging. It is seen that many individuals, when afflicted by an illness, experience rapid and intense progression of the ailment. They often say, "The young one has passed away," but it is not a natural death. Rather, it is due to the person's wrong actions. Many times, we witness a woman consistently lying on her bed, menstruating twice or thrice a month, taking medicines but not engaging in any productive work. These cases are often associated with supernatural influences or black magic. In many instances, we find that a woman who has committed such wrong deeds lives with these entities after death because she participated in those wrong actions. We observe numerous instances where a person falls ill rapidly, and we say, "The young one has passed away." It's not a natural death, it's due to the person's wrongdoing. We often see a woman consistently lying on her bed, menstruating twice or thrice a month, taking medicines but not engaging in any productive work. Such cases are frequently linked to supernatural influences or black magic. Many times, a woman who has committed such wrong deeds continues to live with these entities even after death because of her involvement in those wrong actions. Removing these influences is a complex process, and many complicated cases are pending in our records related to their removal. These entities primarily target women because of their impure state during menstruation. The woman unknowingly walks on intersections, squares, and participates in auspicious events, leading to attachments of negative powers. As a result, her house becomes a den of these entities, and they stay there, eating and drinking with her. Ultimately, her death occurs, and even after death, she resides with these entities because she committed such wrongful deeds. We often see individuals who fall ill and progress rapidly towards death. People might attribute it to natural causes, but many times it is due to the person's own wrongdoings. In the case of women, their continuous lying on the bed, menstruating frequently, taking medications without engaging in productive work, and experiencing recurring mental and physical issues are often linked to supernatural influences or black magic. The removal of these influences is challenging, and numerous cases remain pending, requiring extensive efforts. It is crucial for women to adhere strictly to these rules and regulations. Failure to do so can lead to severe consequences, affecting not only their physical and mental health, but also causing disturbances in the household and affecting the overall well-being of the family. These rules are not meant to restrict women, but to ensure their well-being and the harmony of the family and society. It is essential to create awareness about these practices and educate people to follow them for a more peaceful and prosperous life. The cause of her illness is also attributed to unseen forces entering her body, administering punishment. This occurs because she neglected to adhere to the rules regarding menstruation. Touching the feet of a saint, ascetic, or yogi during menstruation is considered a grave sin. Walking on the threshold of a temple and participating in worship is also regarded as a serious offense. Moreover, engaging in cooking in the kitchen and serving the prepared food to her husband and family while menstruating is considered a significant transgression. Extracting milk from a cow, touching a cow, or even placing a hand on a cow during menstruation is also deemed a major sin. However, in today's era, many women are not observing these rules. Our mothers and sisters are not following these regulations, and this is the reason for their suffering. We implore all mothers and sisters to safeguard their families and themselves. This will enable your children to prosper, and your daughters will emerge successfully. Instill in them Indian culture, particularly enlightening them about menstruation rules. Share which rules should be followed on this day and which ones should not. If you desire a book related to menstruation, we have authored a book named Cancer of Human Life, which explains how cancer affects human life, how progress is hindered, how the body deteriorates, and how unrest spreads within the home. The code for the book is 1960. Simply write this code along with the book's name, Cancer of Human Life, and append 00 after it. The book will be delivered to your home for only 00. This offer is valid today. The code provided is 1960. Just write it, along with the book's name, Cancer of Human Life, and add 00 after it. The book can be delivered to your home for only 00. It is more valuable than lakhs of rupees. If you read it and apply its principles to your life, you will undoubtedly find happiness.